is Friday, the 13th, at beautiful Gulfstream Park. Welcome to Gulfstream today. Ron Nicoletti, along with Acacia Courtney, and Fast Main Track, firm turf course. Sort of like a broken record as far as the conditions go around here. It's been beautiful for like the last 4 or 5 days in South Florida.
We've certainly been lucky with that, and it is Friday the 13th, and hopefully it's going to be a lucky day for you and not an unlucky day. Certainly several options to get in on the action, and we do have a little carryover.
Yeah, we do have a carryover today in the Rolling Super High Five, which starts right in race number 1 this afternoon, $2,029. And we're also going to have a ticket from you on the early pick 5, which is the first 5 races on the card. The Rainbow Six starts in race number 3, but they got it yesterday, and there was 3 horses alive, and 2 of those 3 horses finished 1-2, so some lucky bettor got $32,000 plus, and of course only with a 20-cent wager. I don't know how big the ticket was, and of course we're ending the day with a late pick 5, another ticket from Acacia that we'll be showing you momentarily. Well, that one will be a little later on. So a Fast Main Track, firm turf course. They hit the Rainbow Six yesterday, so we start all anew today. But with race number 1, 5 furlongs on the turf. These are maiden claimers, 3-year-olds and up, $12,500. We'll have 7 runners in the field. We already mentioned that we have a carryover in the Rolling Super High Fives, but Acacia's going to show you her early pick 5 ticket.
Yes, I have an early pick 5, and you know, Friday the 13th has always been a lucky day for me, Ron. I've not had, knock on wood, now that I'm saying it, you know, it might change, but so far in my 23 years, it's been a lucky day on Friday the 13th. So hopefully we keep that going. I have a $24 early pick 5 ticket, races 1 through 5. I went 2 deep in the first leg, then 4, 3, 2, and my single came in race 5. I was able to find a single in both my early pick 5 and late pick 5, so I singled the number 1 Wallflower in race 5. So again, $24 ticket, pretty affordable, and hopefully comes through as a lucky one today.
Yeah, we both have, I believe, the number 6 on top of our ticket, and that is Alsvid Gulfstream. And if anybody knows what that means, please fax it into us.
Yes, please let us know. We've had some made-up options as to what it might mean, but we're not quite sure just yet.
Well, I believe this one is sitting on a winning performance after breaking from a demanding outside post last time, and it was post 10. He went up, set the pace. He got caught late, finishing second at this level of distance. And I thought off that performance, he looks like the one to beat in the opener.
Yeah, we may not know what the name means, but we do know that this horse has some early speed for sure, and has certainly shown that, especially after a race off the turf, coming back to the turf in his most recent start, finished that strong second, beaten only by 3 1/4 lengths there, so should improve off of that effort.
And we both used the number 1, Shape of My Heart, in second.
Yes, Shape of My Heart. Yes,
Yeah.
I've got the pink today, not the red. But 2 turf starts most recently at the 5 furlong distance. So sticking with that, both of those were 3rd place finishes. This horse is 0 for 9 so far, but does have, again, a couple 3rd place finishes. Has been in the money, been right there in the action, and I think will be in the action in this race as well.
Yeah, and if you read the short comment line there, it says bumped in at the top of the stretch when finishing 3rd behind aforementioned Alsvid Gulfstream. I'm going to say that as many times as I can in this first race. The morning line favorite in here is the number 4, Burning Wild. This one, 0 for 39 maiden.
Yeah, coming off just a 9-day rest. We just talked about Shape of My Heart. 2 back, he finished 3rd, where Burning Wild finished 2nd. Here's another horse that's often in the money. It has been moving over from the dirt now, ran on the turf 2 back, tried the dirt last time, so trying to figure out a winning combination for this horse, because as you mentioned, 0 for 39, and this will be start number 40, hoping to finally get that winner circle.
Yeah, it's been an elusive spot for this horse, so we'll see how the race number 1 works out this afternoon. Let's go to the second race, and this one is a 1-mile maiden claiming event, 3-year-olds and up, $12,500, and we want to go back but no, let's talk about the horse first. We'll talk about the spotlight in just a minute. Number 1 is the one I think to beat there, and that is Sir Hanun.
Yes, I put the number 1 on top as well. Added blinkers last time for the first time and ended up finishing a strong 2nd at the 7 furlong distance. So stretching out a little bit. If you look back to the last time that he ran a mile, that was back in February. That didn't work out so well. Tried the turf a couple times, cut back to 7 furlongs, and now stretching out a little bit. But I really think the addition of those blinkers and 2 recent starts in the money is big.
Well, number 4, Let's Go Irish Man, is hoping to find more for the stretch run. He stalked the pace last time out. He finished 2nd, But that was to a much the best winner that afternoon called JD's Kitten, and that was going this 1 mile in distance, and that was on a sealed sloppy track. And I was really impressed with JD's Kitten that day. So off that performance, I put it in second. You did go with the number 5 in here, and that is Sugar Dandy in the second spot.
Yeah, Sugar Dandy was a little bit of a tough one for me. If you look at his most recent race, it looked like he was setting in a good position to even win, and then all of a sudden just ducked out before the finish line, and had some speed in both of his 2 starts so far. Finished 3rd in debut, then came back, but now making the first start for trainer Sandra Slivka, and I think that a little bit of the stretch out to the mile and hopefully a couple races as experience will be a good one for him.
Well, the horse that we both used in third is My Name Is Woody. He was stretching out to a mile. We want to show you the start of its last race. It was pretty eventful in here, and you'll see him. He's the number 3. Forget the number 2 who just goes right off the stage. But there's a lot of action going on here in the race. You'll just see the 3 just gets bounced back. The 2 drops the jock at the start. So just had a tough go of it. He went up. He stalked the pace after that beginning, which I thought wasn't bad. He finished 4th against 12-5 maidens going 6 furlongs. He's a son of mass media, and I think he's got the breeding to handle this 1-turn mile distance, and he certainly had an excuse at the start.
I agree. Yeah, there's a lot of action going on there. It's certainly tough to keep your wits about you when you have all of that going on at the start. And this is a horse, it seems like it takes him a little while to get his stride, and he did have that tough race last time out. So hopefully he'll get a clean break and a clean trip today, which should help him.
Well, let's take a short break. When we come back, we will have the pick 6.
Pick 6.
Rainbow 6.
Sure
Hit
about that?
yesterday. We're going to start. Yeah, I got
All
it
right.
now.
Okay.
Welcome back to Gulfstream. We just heard what Alsvid Gulfaxi means. Too long to tell you. You'll have to look it up yourself. 4.5 furlongs, maiden claiming 2-year-olds. Love these type of races. $50,000. It's our first claiming race for 2-year-olds. We had maiden special weight, so these are running for the $50,000 tag today. Scratch the number 3, One Eye Jet in here. And as I mentioned, or I tried to mention, the Rainbow 6 is going to start in race number 3 this afternoon. They hit it yesterday for $32,000. Let's show you my ticket. I went 3 deep in here, 3 deep in the second, and you see my single comes in race number 6 this afternoon, and that is my old buddy Grand Shores, who looks like he's the one to beat absolutely in our stake race this afternoon. We got the Bull Gator. We actually have some stakes action, so it'll be a lot of fun today. And there you see the rest of the ticket, $43.20, and good luck with all your selections today in that Rainbow 6. The morning line favorite, and the horse we both put on top, is the number 4, and Diddley, a gelded son of Stay Thirsty.
Yeah, this is actually the second foal of Stay Thirsty so far. The first one was a horse named Thirst for Life, who was 3rd at Churchill Downs, so finished in the money. Who's for his first foal, of course, Stay Thirsty, earner of more than $1.9 million, won the Travers, 2nd in the Belmont, among other races. So pretty exciting to see his foals running now. And out of a damn easy, Ashley, who was trained by Wesley Ward, who is the trainer here of Diddley. And a quick stat for you on Wesley Ward with his first-time starters. In the past 5 years, 2-year-old first-time starters on the dirt, he has 38 out of 163, so a 23% win, 53% in the money, and $1.23 ROI. So not a positive ROI, but really frequently in the money and a pretty strong win percentage for first-time starters. So I thought that was pretty big.
Yeah, Wesley does an excellent job with his 2-year-old first-time starters. And this one shows 3 workouts, including that recent 3-furlong bullet over the track in 35-2. Leading apprentice John Cruz will be in the saddle this afternoon, so getting a little break in the weights. And this looked like the logical choice in race number 3. Now, you have the 7 in second, I have it in third, and that is Boot and Loot.
Yes, Boot and Loot by Overdriven, winner of a Grade 2 Sanford, among others. And this is another horse that's been really sharp on the work tab, trained by Larry Pilati, who we saw had success with first-time starter yesterday. And just another interesting horse to have here in this really interesting race.
Yeah, and I mean, he had 12 workouts shown between over this track and over in the farm. So this horse certainly seems to be ready for the spot. And you mentioned that Larry Pilati had a really impressive 2-year-old winner yesterday, ridden today with by Miguel Vasquez, and we'll be getting Lasix. The horse I put in second on my ticket was the 5 Saratoga 2-Step. Is by a sire, 2-Step Salsa, who produces first out freshman winners at about a 16% rate. He's debuting for trainer George Weaver. 5 stamina-enhancing workouts showing up at Palm Beach Downs. Tyler Gaffleone rides Respect the Barn. The sire has known to produce some early winners, 2-year-old winners, so I threw that one on the ticket. He's 4th choice on the morning line. And you also used the number 6 in here, and it's been on my mind that you were going to use this horse.
It's been on my mind. Apparently it was on my mind as well to use. It's been on my mind. The number 6, trained by Stephen DeMaro, who does very well with first-time starters. Juan Leva will be in the saddle. This one's been pretty consistent on the work tab as well, and running those 4 furlong distances and breaking from the gate is what I like to see.
Yeah, and he's second choice in the morning line, so there is some interest in him. Always one of those fun races. I did go 3 deep in the Rainbow 6 because you don't want to get knocked out in the first leg, and we'll see how it goes. But we're going to go to race number 4, 1 mile on the turf. Claim is 3 and up. Non-winners of 2 in life, $12,500. Scratch the main track only in here, and that is number 8, Professor Jack. And as we told you, Acacia has her late pick 5 ticket to show you.
Yeah, late pick 5 starts in race number 4 and goes through race number 8, of course. And there is some overlap with the early pick 5 once again. With my late pick 5 ticket, I have $36. And I was able to find another single, a different single than what I used earlier. So I suppose if you want to make it even less expensive, you could do a single in both race 5 and 6. But my single in race 6 here was the 4 Grand Shores, who Ron singled as well in the Rainbow 6. I think that that's going to be a pretty easy one there. And I went 3 deep in the first leg. Again, you don't want to get kicked out there. 2, here's my single, 3 deep, and 4 deep in the last $36 ticket.
Well, I used the number 6 in here to open up the rainbows. I made the late pick 5. Run Saichi is turning back to a mile after responding to a drop in competition by coming within 3/4 of a length of notching this condition, going a mile in the 16th. Terry Pompey is the trainer. Eddie Castro in the saddle. I just thought this horse on paper looked like the one to beat, but I know a horse they did not use, and that is the Malibu's Most Wanted, that you want to go back and show a spotlight on this horse.
I do. I use Malibu's Most Wanted on top of $170,000 Son of Malibu Moon, second off the claim. And if we look back to his most recent race, he ended up drifting at the start, but we're going to look just as they turned through home. He sat a distant 3rd through most of the race, and there he is. He's horse number 6 here in this race, and he starts to pull away. And as they were rounding, it looks like he's pulling away. He's still getting some pressure from some of the other horses there. Dothraki Warrior starts drifting out. He's the 2 horse here. He pressed, and Malibu's Most Wanted was able to hold on after this threat was coming. He's drifting out a little bit from the rail. It looks like several times that Dothraki Warrior might be able to blast off and pass by him, but he just doesn't let that happen. I like the tenacity that race showed. Held on by a neck. Does have the ability, some versatile speed there to sit just behind the leaders, and I liked that.
Yeah, I might have to go back and throw that one back on my ticket there. So that's the beauty of doing this show. Before the first race, you can go back and make some adjustments. We both used the number 7, Mr. Money Pants, who's now a gelding. He's cutting back to 8 furlongs after getting fanned forward on the turn. He finished 5th. He was beaten a little over 2 lengths. It was a key race, produced a couple of next out winners, so it was a good performance, and I thought of all of that added together, this one deserves a spot on my ticket, and I guess on yours too.
I totally agree. I like that he was a first-time gelding. Sometimes that just sharpens horses up a little bit there, and the last time he ran a mile was back in February, and then stretched out a little bit, running the mile and an 1/8 mile and 16th distances, so cutting back to the mile on the turf, and I think this will be a good fit for him.
And we both used number 1, Venezuelan Success.
Venezuelan success coming very quickly back off a victory. It ran just 6 days ago on May 7th and won by a length and a quarter. A very impressive victory there. Second by a neck in the start before that. So he's certainly been in good form over the past couple races.
Yeah, I mean, it was a pretty nice performance last time out. He's stepping up to the next logical level, so it's just a progression that you would expect this horse to do. But you mentioned that short turnaround, so that's something you might be concerned about. You see our selections up there in race number 4. With that said, we will go to race number 5, 5 furlongs on the turf. These are maiden claimers, fillies and mares, 3-year-olds and up, $12,500. 6 select runners in the field, and I know this is one of your singles on your early pick 5 ticket, so let's hear about the number 1, Wallflower.
Yes, Wallflower 8-5 on the morning line, coming off about a 7-month layoff. Last ran on October 4th at Keeneland, so dropping a bit too. Ran at the maiden claiming $30,000 level last time out after dropping in from the maiden special weight level. This horse is 0-for-8 so far, but if you look back as to where she was running in the maiden special weight on the turf, she also was on the dirt last time, so she's moving back over to the turf, looking to see how frequently she's in the money. Something that I really liked in her 8 starts, she's been in the money 5 times there, so she's always been right in the action, and I think now it's her time to get to the winner's circle.
Yeah, and I mean, she was, as you mentioned, facing maiden special weight company both at Ellis Park and at Indiana Grand. So Dane Kaminsky, he's got about a 20% average with the longer than 180-day layoff. So coming off the layoff, number 1, Wallflower, looks like the logical choice, as you mentioned, 8-5 on the morning line. I went with the 4 in second. You have it in third. That is Great South Bay. Drop it to the 12-5 level on the turf. Adding blinkers this afternoon after going up and vying for the lead. He faded to get beat. He got beat double-digit lengths in that race, but it was against maiden special weight competition. It was going 5.5 furlongs on the main track, so they're changing things up today, adding the blinkers, and I think this might be a good spot for this horse to wake up.
Yeah, there's a lot going on, a lot of changes for this horse. First time blinkers, first time on the turf, also dropping from the maiden special weight to the maiden claiming, as you mentioned. And she's also second race off of about a 5-month layoff. Debuted on December 9th and wasn't seen again until May 7th, but I certainly expect her to run well and in the money.
Well, we both have the 6. You have it in second, and that is Miss Regal Light.
Yes, Miss Regal Light is going back to the turf after a while. Her last turf start was in February, and that was a 1.16 on the turf. Prior to that, if you look back at the last 2 times that she sprinted on the turf earlier in her career, both in October of 2015, she ran the 7.5 furlongs on the turf and finished second and third, respectively. She could sit a trip from the outside post.
I had a problem. One problem with it was the 0-for-18 record on the turf, 2 seconds, 1/3. That was my problem. And not that I can't, you got to use this horse somewhere on your ticket. Couldn't put it on the top, but certainly current form on the main track earns her a spot on the ticket.
Absolutely, I totally agree.
So let's go to race number 6, and this is our feature event of the afternoon. 7 furlongs, 3-year-olds and upward, Florida breds, $75,000 guaranteed. The race is called the Bull Gator, and we both singled on one of our tickets, Grand Shores, a winner of more than $587,000. Now in the Mark Cassie bond, we're trying to make it 2 in a row at the distance. Had 16 races at this 7 furlong distance, 6 wins, 4 seconds, 3/3 after using his class to win the $100,000 Sir Shackleton in impressive fashion. Edgar Zayas rides strictly the one to fear in here.
Absolutely, and I know that this horse has a very soft spot in your heart, and I think for a lot of us as well. Certainly a tried and true horse, 15 for 54 in lifetime starts. Had that win in the stake last time out, but also strong thirds, recently in grade 3s in grade 3 in the Fred Hooper and the House Hope, for instance. So has kept some really good company, has been right there, tough as nails. So exciting to see him back in the stake today.
Well, there's a horse that's coming back that we both used, and that's the 5-year-old Set, making its first start since a really solid entry-level allowance score at the distance in which he stalked early, he drew clear late, and he won that race by 5 lengths.
He did very impressive, and just to give you a little bit of a stat, too, it seems like we're all set. The 5 is one that might be the biggest competition for Grand
Yeah.
Shores in this race. But trainer Peter Walder, if you look in the last 5 years on the dirt in non-graded stakes, he's 4 for 19, 21% win, 63% in the money, and a $4.90 ROI. So
Yeah, so
huge there. So one that I think, 9 to 5 on the morning line. You have 2 to 5 on the morning line on Grand Shores, but we're all set. Looks to be the one to be the biggest competition for the favorite.
And Peter Walder has Tyler Gaffleone in the saddle as Edgar Zayas sticks with Grand Shores, which, I mean, you can't blame him.
Absolutely.
I just thought I'd put that out there. The number 1 horse, Your Dreams Are Mine, now in the Milt Wolfson barn. This gelding steps up, turns back after finishing 3rd behind undefeated repeat winner, a horse called Brown Almighty. That was a $30,000 condition claimer at a mile. His back class merits some consideration. If you cruise through his past performance lines, this horse was in stakes power. He come back, he ran in condition claimers, but he's got some back class.
He does. He won the Florida Sire Unbridled Stakes back in 2015, and does have some impressive wins back in his earlier resume. So certainly one to keep an eye on. He's 8 to 1 on the morning line. You'll definitely get bigger prices on the rest of the field besides the 2 horses that we mentioned earlier.
Yeah, so Grand Shores, and a lot of times with a 5-horse field here, a lot of people you go all, it might turn out to be the right thing when you're putting your ticket together, because if Grand Shores has a little bit of an off day, all the other horses, or most of the other horses, are going to pay decently in there.
Right.
Let's go to race number 7. It's a 1-mile allowance optional claimer, fillies and mares, 3-year-olds and up. That claiming level is $62,500. And want to go back and show you a performance last time out between Concealed with a Kiss and Kiss to Remember, the stretch run of their last race. And it was pretty exciting. You see, the 4 is Concealed with a Kiss, and the 5 is Kiss to Remember. And these two are going to ding-dong it right to the wire. And it was a great performance. And you see right now the number 4 horse, Concealed with a Kiss, has the lead here, and here comes the 5 horse that day. We'll see how this race plays out, and you're going to see it at the wire. It's a nose separated in the 2 of them. Here they come. So and they're meeting back up again today.
They are. The impressive rematch here for Concealed with a Kiss and Kiss to Remember. I like the call that day. Who's the better kisser?
Yeah.
So I guess the Concealed with a Kiss won it that day, and we'll find out if Kiss to Remember can be remembered today. So we both used those 2 horses on top, and it looked like we rounded out the top 3 with the 5 Curlin's Princess, but I ended up going with the 5 Kiss to Remember to come back off of that second to Concealed with a Kiss. And I just think, looking at the impressive, talk about back class and resume that Kiss to Remember has, is a stakes winner, won the Monroe by 6 3/4 lengths, and actually almost won the Grade 1 Ballerina in the summer at Saratoga. Was beaten only by 1 length to finish second that day.
Yeah, and he rebounded from that. She rebounded, from that poor showing behind a really, really fast horse called Stone-tastic.
Yeah.
That was in the Grade 2 Inside Information. Comes back and gets beat that nose by Concealed with a Kiss. Hard to separate these two. Talking about Concealed with a Kiss, try and make it 2 in a row. Set that pace throughout last time and was game enough to hold on for that victory. Luis Duco lightens the impost for the rematch. He puts apprentice Christian Navarro on there, gets him with 119 pounds. Maybe that's enough to win by another nose.
Well, I think he knows who he's up against as well. The Kiss to Remember is coming on back, and as I mentioned, we both rounded out the top 3 with the 5 Curlin's Princess. So we're keeping it kind of feminine here in this race, but Curlin's Princess is stepping up to distance again. Ran 6 furlongs and 7 furlongs prior to that, and going back to the mile distance. Has kept some good company as well. Ran in the Grade 3 Rampart. Finished second last time out, though, beaten about 7 lengths behind More Than Party. But if you look back, the last win came on a sloppy track, and so going back over to that mile distance and stretching out again might suit her.
Yeah, and trained by Marty Wilson, who also trains Kiss to Remember, and he goes with jockey Edgar Zayas here, who rode Kiss to Remember last time out. So a little bit of the musical jockeys going on in there, but another really nice race this afternoon. Use all 3. That's what I did. I don't know if you did on your ticket, because they're hard to separate in race number 7. Our final race on this Friday the 13th card is a 1-mile starter optional claimer. Fillies and mares, 3-year-olds and up. $8,000 is the level, and we're going to start it off in here with the number 4 horse we both put on top of our ticket, Elnath, who moved to the Tammy Levy barn via the claim. Goes back to the main track today after her 3-race win streak at the distance ended when she finished 5th. But that was against $10,000 claimers on the turf. Elvis Trujillo named on this 5-time winner at the distance.
Yeah, she's moving back over from the turf to the dirt, which certainly does seem to be like her preferred surface. And if you look back at that 3-race win streak, that was even when she was being very popular at the claim box. So she bounced around in barns a couple times. So 3 wins with 3 different trainers, and it seems to be, as I said, popular at the claim box and moving around, but still able to keep that winning streak going. And I think she'll get back to it today.
You know, I was torn whether to use Bear's Reflection or to use, the horse I used in second, Amaluna, which is the 3. I understand using Bear's Reflection. I kept going back. I went the other way. I went with Amaluna, just going to try and make it 2 in a row at the distance. She tracked early. She drew clear late to defeat $6,250 claimers by 4 lengths. It's Orby Mirage, Gerardo Corrales going for 2 in a row. And I just got enamored with that last performance here, but I could totally understand the number 5, Bear's Reflection, being on your ticket.
Yes, and I went back and forth the same way and just ended up on the other horse. So I went with the 5, Bear's Reflection in second, trained by Ramon Morales. CJ Navarro is going to be aboard. Last win came at the mile distance on the dirt. The last 3 races were on the turf, so she's going to be moving back over to the dirt. But if you look back on January 3rd of 2016, that was her last victory. It was a mile on the dirt and the 62.50 claiming rate, so she's stepping up a bit since then, but she did win by 4 lengths that day.
Well, you mentioned popular horses in the claiming box.
Yes.
What about the number 7, Samus?
Yes, Samus is one that I wanted to highlight a bit here. We have a video to show you. Now, this is one, if you look back in all of his recent races that you'll see, he's number 3 in this last race here, coming around the far turn. He goes wide and comes out. He ends up finishing second in this race, but such a game effort. And I really liked the way that he did this. This was at a 6 furlong distance. He was shuffled behind, and he was kept behind the leaders, and he rallied again, just comes wide. It looks like he's going to get it, and he just barely misses, and we'll see as they get down to the wire there, he ends up being beaten by Twinkling Time, who comes up along the rail. Maybe the jockey didn't see too much, or something happened over there, but such a game effort for this horse that has been bouncing around in the claim box and is still able to keep that good form.
Yeah, I don't know if it's a record or not. I'm sure it's not. They'll find somebody else, but he's been claimed sometime by the same trainer over and over again, but 7 consecutive times. So popular in the claiming box and popular on our ticket after that last performance. So that's how we see this Friday card. Friday the 13th, a lucky day for you. Lucky day for me too, just being here. I feel I've got it made.
Well, that's it. Maybe we'll call you Mr. Money Pants, like the first time gelding.
There you go.
What do I love about horse racing?